Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a great start to the morning. Market opens in 2 seconds. There we go. All right. Natural gas, absolutely killing it. Showing signs of very consistent uptrend pattern. So again, you guys with a huge push up, opening 9% on the day. Not bad, right? You guys can see with /NG, this thing opened about 3.5% in the green based off of how it closed on Friday, right? So it looks like we're pulling back a little bit. I can see a couple of people deciding to lock in profits on natural gas. I think that this is pretty solid. This is huge. Here goes AMD with the break above /CL, also showing signs of an uptrend pattern. So I find that to be pretty attractive for all those that are trying to focus on something with a clear direction. We're approaching the previous high, which is 56.85, based off of pre-market highs. So it looks like it's showing signs of a very consistent uptrend pattern. Looks like crude oil is consistently pushing up. At least that's how it was during the pre-market session. Natural gas, very similar pattern, right? /NQ, also showing signs of it being bullish. And /GC is the opposite, where it closed and then it's actually beginning to show signs of a sell-off. So I want to say what's up to everyone. Let's get this out of the way. Here it goes. What's up? How are we all doing this morning? Let's make 3% today. That would definitely be nice, right? But yeah, let's work for it. Just so you guys all know, did not take any trades during the pre-market session. No working orders, no filled orders, nothing like that. Just starting out fresh. And we can kind of go from there. So UWT still pushing up /CL, possibly making higher highs here. So I like it. Good morning. Out of everything that you guys are watching right now, what's the most attractive to you and why? So if you were to say something, or to pick one commodity, if you have one. If you don't, then cool. One of the things that I like about crude oil is just, again, it's consistently pushing up. It is a little bit more on the overextended side, but it is a very consistent uptrend pattern, right? Natural gas is kind of the same approach, where it just pulled back, but now it just pushed up and it's on its way to make higher highs again on the day. So we got people focusing on JDST as gold sells off. Okay. All right, trying to survive these fires. Yeah, no, I agree. Up 4% on Josh. Yep. What's up? What's going on, Harrison? Good morning. What's going on, Luis? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. JDST in that good deal zone. All right. Happy Monday, everyone. All righty. Let's see how these are looking. Okay, JDST still pushing up, making higher highs right now. Again, as gold sells off, I can definitely see why that can continue to push up. So there it goes. Crude oil pushing up. So again, UWT with a strong push. If there's one that's looking very bullish right now, it's definitely going to be UWT, right? But it's so overextended. I don't know. Do we want to go with the flow, right? Does that make sense as it pulls back and approaches that EMA line to kind of just go with the flow with natural gas? Maybe not, right? All right, JDST on bigger time frames. AKS. Okay, I can definitely see what you're seeing here, especially with the MACD, overall previous patterns, and the overall SMA line. It looks like we have some margin for this thing to continue to push up. We'll have to see if it actually follows or gets rejected by the same highs that we saw last time, right? Definitely something that we have to take into consideration. /CO with a strong push. All right. BAC. Market's doing really good. Okay. DWT just dropped below 472. Yep. Selling off. Okay. Natural gas definitely looking a little bit more on the overextended side, right? I think that we could all agree on that. We'll have to see if this news can continue to drive the price up or if that's going to be it for natural gas. So, wow, that was a solid push. Oh, I'm kind of getting FOMO right now because my thing is messed up. It doesn't let me like make it smaller and it just ruined the text. I don't know what's going on with that. I do apologize. I'll try to see if I can still squeeze it in here. But the issue that I'm having right now, and it's not an issue, but one of the things that I'm like, why I'm hesitating to take a position, and you guys can let me know what you guys think about this, is natural gas and crude oil, the ones that are pushing up right now, are very, very overextended. So, of course, I want to go with the flow, but the market just opened. And one of the things that we've seen happen very often is that there tends to be a change of direction when it goes from pre market to normal market hours. And because it's so overextended, I just don't want to buy the inverse ETF or ETN at the very peak. So, therefore, I'm almost hesitating to take a position. Um, oh, shoot. All right. There is a little bit of an issue that we are having here at the house. We had everyone but me and Justin. We had some friends that were visiting. They're big in like not trading but in drop shipping, and they all went out last night. And one of our buddies didn't come home, and his phone is dead. So we're trying to figure out where he's at. And I think they're trying to call me right now. So I do apologize. I might have to jump on a quick call during this live stream, and just to make sure that he's okay, if that's okay. So, um, but yeah. Alrighty, 1 day 5 minute chart looking solid. Alright. Roku. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Didn't expect that. So Roku's actually making higher highs, if I'm not mistaken. Strong push on Roku. I know a lot of you guys really like it, right? So Roku's actually making higher highs now, which is something that a lot of you guys were waiting out for. I find that to be pretty interesting, right? Because we definitely do have more margin for this thing to cover, and it looks like it's headed that way. We just made new highs based off of since it's sold off. So, of course. Yeah, those are funny. All right. But yeah, going back to explaining about like natural gas and crude oil, I'm just gonna give this a little bit more time. Might even decide to go live a little bit later as well. I really don't think I'm gonna take a position. Just being completely honest during this live trading session, so I'm open to answering any questions you guys might have. I'm seeing natural gas just to be so overbought. Of course, I want to partake in the action, but I can't just find myself to take a position when something is already so overextended and just bound to pull back. So I want to get more confirmation that this thing is going to continue to be bullish during normal trading hours, since in my experience for the past 2 weeks, every single time as we go from pre-market to normal market hours, there's a change of direction. And I think a lot of you guys can agree. So, but again, there hasn't been such a bullish movement on natural gas or on crude oil, I think in the past 2 weeks like this. So the overall, news might outweigh previous patterns. So, all right. Is there a reason that you didn't take a position during the pre-market session? Well, first of all, I set my alarm just like I normally do every morning to wake up at 4. Uh, I had to get up at 3 o'clock as the guys were getting home, and no one could find our friend. And I spent like 30 minutes to an hour trying to locate him, trying to find people that he might have been with, and I couldn't. So I missed out on some of my sleep, and I just got too tired. So there's no other excuse other than I just didn't want to take that. Give me one quick second. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump on a quick call. I really do apologize if that's okay. Give me like 5 minutes if that. So All right, guys. Thank you guys again for being patient. /. Okay. Let's see. Western way after session. All right. Yeah. I still can't get in contact with him. It's fine. I'm sure we'll be good. /GC still selling off. JDST not pushing up as much as we'd think, huh? Here it goes. Right. Yeah, I was just looking at that for /CL. One of the things that you can pick up on, and you guys can check this out, is that /CL in comparison to like /NG actually does pull back sometimes and then actually continues to push up. So you guys can see that there's been multiple times where it breaks below the EMA line, but then continues to rally and be bullish. Natural gas doesn't have that form of movement as much when it pulls back. It normally pulls back to around that EMA line and then continues to rally. So just be careful for those that are thinking that, hey, it might be time to get into DWT. I'm not too sure about that. I still think that /CL is pretty bullish in the idea that maybe the 1 day 5 minute chart might be something that can present this a little bit more clear than the 1 day 1 minute chart. But it's up to you, right? It's up to you to decide on which one to focus on. So Danson is up $1,200 on the day with Roku and UGAZ. If I'm not mistaken, Danson, I believe you held UGAZ over the weekend, right? All right. Here it goes. Now beginning to show a little bit more signs of a potential change or pullback, right? So we'll see if we actually begin to make lower lows. Quick little alert. All right, DGAS beginning to pull back. /CL just broke above that EMA line once again. Oh, there it goes, getting rejected. So again, 1 day 5 minute chart. Not bad. JDST making higher highs. Wow, we're moving today. We're definitely moving. No, I don't short sell. Thank you for asking them. JDST higher highs. Yep. Dean, I see that /NGZ19 follows you guys and DGAS a little bit closer, so that's why I changed it. Oh, look at this. What do we got going on here, guys? What do you guys think? With natural gas pulling back, do you still think it's going to be bullish? Do you think this is just a pullback? Not bad, right? Giselle, the whole idea when looking at different time frames are to see which time frames you find to be most effective with the overall pattern. So I can look at the 1 day 10 minute chart, and if I find that to be more effective based off of the indicators and the pattern that I see, then so be it, right? Yeah, I would say definitely a pullback as well. Of course. Here it goes. Looks like we're about to push up again. Wow, crude oil actually pulling back a little bit more. That caught me by surprise. Natural gas. Not 1%, really, so gotta be careful on that one. Lower lows on CL. Hey, it might have not been the worst idea to not go with the flow, right? I don't know if you guys have decided to lock in profits already, but I think that idea that we had in mind of, hey, this thing's pushing up. It just went from pre-market to normal market hours. It might not be the worst idea to give this a little bit more time, right? There it goes. Looks like natural gas is about to follow as well. What's D-gas chain at? Ooh, 129. Okay. I wouldn't say D-gas is at support. Again, I'm not saying that these things are changing directions completely. And yeah, there it goes. Natural gas just broke above the EMA line. We can definitely see this thing continue to rally. So natural gas has been the most bullish, in my opinion, the entire pre-market session. Yeah, /CL, pulling back. Again, just trying to find a support. So if we go on the 1-day 5-minute chart, we're still around that EMA line, right? Excuse me. There we go. Okay, UWT should have about 1%. No? Jeez. Oh, wow. I was certain that UWT did less than 1%. So again, the way out my odds, still not necessarily worth it. Not a huge opportunity. Again, I think our goal for a lot of us is to minimize the amount of positions that we take and to allow a big position or a big opportunity to present itself. I would say that this is definitely a play. It makes sense on this overall reversal. I just don't see the margin of profit to be like, it's not like an amazing deal. It just makes sense on why it could reverse, and it doesn't even have to. So I'm going to try to hold back as of right now and wait a little bit for a bigger play. Rest in peace, headphone users. Oh, I thought I sneezed pretty quietly, and I sneezed on looking or pointing the other way. Sorry about that, if that was too loud for you guys. No, so that's not what I'm trying to say. So the question is, does the 1-day 5-minute chart depict overall direction better than the 1-day 1-minute chart? No, not necessarily. The whole idea behind using like larger candles is these indicators will move just a little bit slower. Therefore, you might be getting a little bit more of. It also depends. If whatever it is that you're trading is pretty aggressive and pretty volatile, then the 1-day 1-minute chart makes sense. If these things aren't moving too aggressively, then maybe the larger time frame, right, or larger candles might be something that might work in your favor. But you also want to test this. There we go. So natural gas is again approaching previous highs. So congrats to all those that bought the dip on natural gas on the overall reversal. But it really comes down to what indicators you focus on, what patterns you're trying to see, and what time frame you believe meets that criteria best. I clearly said that like on the 1-day 5-minute chart that I was like, hey, I see this to be a little bit easier to trade with the 1-day 5-minute chart to identify direction, right? So it was very easy to see that this was an overall descending pattern as it was trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, and we can see that happen. But if you didn't focus on the VWAP and maybe you're focusing on the EMA line, it might not be as clear. And as of right now, as this thing is pushing up, on the 1-day 5-minute chart, it was doing a beautiful job holding above the EMA line. Now, one of the things that we're beginning to see is look at the RSI, look at the MACD. We're beginning to get a descending MACD with a potential peak, and that makes sense why then crude oil can begin to pull back. So it's just, in my eyes, I'm seeing this to be a little bit stronger than the 1-day 1-minute chart as of now. It doesn't mean that it's better and that it's always better, but it depends on that specific stock. That's why we say that trading, right, is problem solving. It's using the different kind of like resources and options that you have available and seeing how you can solve this problem to see things a little bit more clear. There is no best order type. Yeah, so I wouldn't be making a video like that because that's extremely biased based off of, do I like to use OCO brackets? Do I like to use limit buys, limit sells, right? Market buys, market sells. It's all dependent on how aggressive do you want to get in, and how aggressive you want to get out. So if I don't really care to get out at a price point because I have the overall direction to be in my favor and something is slowly moving up, then being able to sell with a limit sell at a resistance that I see viable, then so be it, right? But if I see something that's a momentum trade and I want to aggressively get out of that position and I can see the ask and the bid and I'm okay with selling with market price, then again, you encounter a problem and you have to create a solution for it. And that solution is dependent on your position. Are you trying to aggressively get in or get out of that position? So then that would, depict on what order type you might want to choose. So again, I don't want to give you a one. There is no a one. There's not like one perfect answer or solution for all of this, because every single time we are presented with a new pattern in some form of way, different setup, new indicators, different highs, and altogether, it's always just a little bit different. And there's no copy and paste kind of like template that we have for this. You have to understand what your intentions are and the position that you're in. So I hope that can give you a better understanding on how to approach it next time. Yep. Dr. Jennifer. With all those forecasts, huh? So natural gas, nice little push up. Looking a little bit more on the overextended side, but I could still see this thing continue to rally. Here it goes. /CL. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. We're getting a lot of consolidation on on crude oil right now. Definitely trying to show signs of a reversal. All right, pulling back. Look at that. About to make lower lows on crude oil. That's in favor of DWT. Ricky makes watching paint look interesting. Yeah, I mean, right now we're kind of just waiting, right? But hopefully I make it a little bit more interesting than normal. Alrighty. There it goes. Natural gas is so bullish. No question about it. I don't know how this news is still so aggressively driving the price up. That's ridiculous. Look at that. Even from 4 o'clock. Wow, that would have been nice, huh? 4 o'clock, change of direction. Here we go. Ooh. Look at that. No turning back. 2.573. So this is when you're in the position that you kind of let it run, or follow with a trailing stop loss. If you're not in it already, then it makes it kind of difficult to know when to get in, because it's just bound to pull back. So what's the news on natural gas? It's just the forecast. Based off of my understanding, the reason that natural gas is aggressively pushing up is just due to its overall cold weather forecast. That's all. That it's going to be colder than expected, so the overall demand for natural gas is going to go up. Therefore, the overall consumption of natural gas is going to go up. And we saw this all last year. We've talked about this so many times. So okay. So for instance, like this right here, is it just best to sit on natural gas? I mean, you still want to be proactive in some form of way and have an exit plan if you don't plan to hold forever, right? But definitely, I mean, you could see a very consistent pattern and flow. So even if you don't mind day trading it, then being able to buy the reversals, sell the peaks, buy the reversals, sell the peaks, buy the reversals, sell the peaks. So it really depends on your approach. Now it's overextended, so again, we're gonna wait for a reversal. Maybe looking at the 1-day 5-minute chart. You can focus on this. So when it becomes a better deal, you can decide if you want to get in. And when it becomes overextended, you can decide to get out. If you just want to hold it, then maybe only cut losses when there's a change of direction, meaning that like you watch this very carefully. You can see that it's been doing a beautiful job showing signs of higher highs and higher lows and holding above this EMA line on the 1-day 5-minute chart. Therefore, if it breaks below that or there's a break of pattern, then that's when you can decide to lock in profits. There's many different ways on how to approach this. It just depends on how proactive you want to be when it comes down to actively trading this. So I need to be more disciplined when it comes down to FOMO and feeling the need to always get in there. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of you guys, as we're probably watching this, you guys are so eager to, take the position and you don't want to miss out. One of the things that I just like to remind myself is that market literally just opened and today is just one of many days that we have the opportunity to take a position, right? Therefore, this isn't going to be a make it or break it for me, and I don't want to like discourage myself, especially if you're someone that's just getting started, any further with making a poor trade due to FOMO. So, I have seen a consistent change of direction and pattern during pre and normal market hours. So because of that, I took it upon myself to not take a position until I see a more consistent direction. And that's just my criteria. That's the discipline that I want to have within myself. If that makes sense to you, great. If it doesn't make sense to you and you're like, dude, screw Ricky, I'm going to go with this right now and just continue to rally, then cool. I still think that like we all have different approaches. We can all have different ways on how to still get that same end result. But the whole idea is to have a reason or an intention behind what it is that you do. And I think that's exactly what we're being tested with right now, right? Your ability to, if you do see that this is a little bit more on the overextended side and you're doubting yourself, then maybe just giving it more time to build confidence that this is the direction that we're going to be heading all day, right? Or, if you do stay patient and there is a change of direction, then you just saved yourself from a red trade. So it's like the best of both worlds. I would say news according to China would have a larger influence in my experience on /CL because it's more easily influenced by the overall market. Were you able to take advantage of BTC dip? No, I don't trade Bitcoin, but I appreciate you asking. You cracking up, Joey. There it goes. Natural gas is not even breaking below the EMA line now. Still acting and showing signs of it being bullish. Here it goes. Of course. Alrighty. Nice little pullback here. No, that was one of the messages that I just saw right now. I still haven't found it. It's all good. So, nice little dip, right? Do you guys see this on crude oil? Hey, it might be something, it might be nothing, but previous support here, selling off, might get some form of consolidation and potential reversal here. And that's about 1%, so that might be a little bit more attractive. So you haven't taken any positions, right? That is correct. Just watching right now, trying to build confidence, trying to, get my feet wet with the way the market's heading. So I probably almost took a position on crude oil, and thank God I didn't, right? So appreciate it, Dr. Jennifer. I'm sure it's not even that big of a deal. It's just his phone died, and yeah. So natural gas still looking bullish. So waiting for /L to drop below the EMA line. Oh, look at that. DWT, so approaching that middle VWAP. All right. UWT and DWT. So when /CL sells off, DWT goes up. When /CL goes up, UWT goes up. PCG. All right, I want to do a couple breakdowns for you guys before we head on out. So if you guys would like me to break down anything for you, just let me know. Procter & Gamble is overall selling off, but look, previous highs here at $4, previous highs at $4, and now we're almost showing signs of this kind of like bull flag pattern on PCG. So I can definitely see that if it does break above $4, that there might be some form of an aggressive push up. So oh, this is PCG, right? Yeah. Procter & Gamble is just PG, right? Yeah. Okay. Overall, aggressively selling off. Yeah, peaking out, selling off. Yeah. It's been selling off for... Oh, wow, wait. Okay. I didn't know that it fully recovered. Looks like it's in the very early stages. Looks like it peaked out, made highs at almost 126, and now it's in the very early stages. I could see this definitely pulling back, especially after earnings, and that with that being a positive catalyst, I can definitely see as the news dies out that we'll get that overall price to follow. So I think that should be interesting. Okay, up 2% today. Crude oil still selling off. So volume is still pretty high on Tesla. Don't expect that to last too long, but definitely with a really nice push right now. Right, so go overall, yep, showing signs of an uptrend pattern, doing a really nice job holding above the EMA line. Right now, it's a little bit more on the overextended side. I would still wait for it to get closer to the EMA line if you're trying to go with the rally. One of the other things I do want to bring up is as we're getting closer to these higher price points, it normally doesn't trade here very often, so it's more overbought than oversold. So just be very careful in risk management when it comes down to that. Natural gas still running. This is so crazy. Holy smokes, wow. Holy moly, the past 5 minutes. PCG just broke above. Okay. Wow, okay, there goes 1%. So it already pushed up. Maybe something to look out for. Look at that. 2% since had a huge drop. Okay. How do I pick a UGAS exit? So if you want to see this thing to continue to rally, right, and you want to give it some cushion, I would either set up a trailing stop loss of if it pulls back a certain dollar amount and it exceeds that pullback. So if you're saying maybe if it pulls back more than 20 cents, I'm gonna lock in profits there because I don't want to give back 20 cents, something like that, where if you still want to give it time to rally, then great. If you're okay with just selling here and calling it a day because you don't want to go through the stress of following up with it, then that could also be approached. Just Dr. Jennifer, I would say try to understand your intention behind this trade. What would make the most sense to you and what is worth the most time? Are you really doing it for the profit, or are you just doing it more for the experience? And would it make more sense to follow with the trailing stop loss than test that? Or is it more ideal for you to lock in profits, call it a day, and continue with your day with no stress in mind? LABD. I'm not seeing too much value in this one. I don't trade the LABD or LABU very often, but as of right now, yeah, I could see that it could potentially find a support. There's no clear direction. That's my biggest thing with this. There's no clear direction. It's been selling off. It's kind of just almost consolidating now, and because of that, without there being a clear direction, this, out of everything that we've talked about today, Why would I want to trade LABD? I don't even care if this thing does shoot up. If it shoots up, then great. That was based off of chance. Overall, there is no clear direction on LABD. I don't know if it's going to continue to sell off. I don't know if it's going to push up. So because of that, I would rather stay away. So Felicia, I just answered that question. Yeah, I mean, you should know, right, Ryan, what it is that we saw with /CL. So we're approaching this middle VWAP. We could find a potential support here. So if we begin to make higher highs, then again, that's in favor of crude oil and UWT. If we continue to sell off and make lower lows, then I'd go with the flow and follow DWT. So again, that's really big and dependent on how we continue to trade. And again, it's still super early. Don't feel forced to have to pick a position to trade for the rest of the day. Market literally opened 40 minutes ago. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. We still have a lot of time and a lot of movement to cover, and there's no reason to put yourself in a poor position if you're struggling to identify directions. Right now, crude oil is selling off. It's looking to find a potential support. We'll see if it actually rallies and if it's worth, margin. Out of you guys. Okay. Looks like it's peaking out and potential little pullback before it possibly continues to rally. So I'm going to leave it at that. It looks like a lot of you guys are focusing mainly on crude oil and natural gas. All I want to remind you is the idea that, you guys need to feel comfortable and confident with what it is that you're doing. That's the whole idea of practicing, right? And if you're not feeling comfortable nor confident, then just get yourself out of that position. It doesn't matter how much money you can make on the position, because if you put yourself in a poor situation and you either make a profit and you have such a poor experience, it's not enjoyable and you're not really going to learn anything. And again, we can all agree that the dollar amount that you're trading with right now is not what you could be trading with down the road. So it's you're trading to learn, not trading to profit. So therefore, make sure that your actions that you're taking today makes sense. There should be a reason behind everything that you do. And if there is not, then you're really just letting yourself down. If you're trading the dollar amount, if you're chasing the dollar and you're forcing the trade, then again, you're doing yourself a disservice because of what you could be preparing yourself for. And that's really feeling and having confidence with your overall position. Looks like there's a pretty aggressive sell-off right now in natural gas. Wow, okay, huge sell-off. So again, keep it simple, enjoy the process, and have fun with it. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I'll keep you guys up to date. I'm going to figure out my whole friend situation. That's going to be my top priority right now. If you guys have any questions, send me a direct message on Discord, tag me on Discord, and we can go from there. Let's keep it simple, have fun, enjoy the process, and like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.